Hello, I'm Mark Ells, Barnstable Town Manager, and this is my Town Manager communication for April 15th, 2025. We've commenced review of the FY 2026 capital budget and continue with the preparation of the operating budget for fiscal year 2026. We're on schedule with our budget action calendar. Town council hearings on the recommended FY 2026 capital budget commence April 17th and will continue through May 1st or beyond if we need to. But we planned two hearings with the town council at this point. The fiscal year 2026 capital improvement plan is available on the town's website at the link that I've provided in this communication, and printed copies have also been provided to the town council. The school committee met on April 2nd to review, and they approved their FY 2026 school operating budget. Now what happens is it comes to me and the finance director, and we provided in the operating budget to town council for consideration. So ultimately it is the town council that has authority over approving all of our municipal budgets. But this is what's been recommended by the school committee and approved by the school committee, recommended by the school superintendent. And again, you can find that link in this communication if you'd like to take a look, or go to the school website. You can access the information there. The town manager fiscal year 2026 proposed fee hearing was held on March 18th, and the proposed fees are posted on the town manager's website if you'd like to look at them. These are fees that are under consideration for going up on July 1st of 2025. I'll be taking comments through April 17th. And for any information regarding our budget, please visit the town's website. I've spoken about this before. The Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection released the final 2025 intended use plan, detailing the projects, borrowers, and amounts that will be offered financing through the Clean Water and Drinking Water State Revolving Fund Loan Program for this year's financing cycle. And I've given you a link in my communication if you want to go to the mass.gov website and take a look at the intended use plans. The IUP did not substantially change from previous years, resulting in DEP committing to fund Barnstable's listed projects, both in carryover projects and in the new projects that we've proposed that are eligible for these. In the case of wastewater, they refer to that as clean water funding versus drinking water. Again, the IUP looks at both, and any and all communities in the Commonwealth are eligible potentially to receive funding through this funding source. This keeps those projects eligible for a principal subsidy from the Cape and Islands Wastewater Trust Fund. So this is good news. But this is if you remember, I was making comment on the draft IUP for 2025 because they had changed some of the financing moving forward with both approved projects and listed projects. They've held with what they've done in the past in the 2025. That's good news. The challenge we have is that they've identified the same funding concerns that made them modify the 2025 IUP, and they've identified that they have limits if we end up with increased costs. Now, all you got to do is pick up a newspaper or watch the news, and you'll understand what's going on in the marketplace, in the world, and in our country. A lot of unknowns right now. So they're very concerned that if, for example, steel prices come in much higher than what were intended when budgets were established for projects, that this may impact their ability not to meet what was originally estimated, but to fund those additions if they occur. As always, Barnstable has offered to continue to actively participate in the discussions with Mass DEP regarding the strategies to maintain the state revolving fund as a financially viable resource in the future. And we'll just keep the council and you involved and advised as this matter progresses. On April 9th, I participated as a panelist for a webinar offered by the Mass Municipal Association covering strategies to help municipal leaders launch and run Citizens Academy. Citizens Academy are educational programs designed to help residents gain better understanding of the daily operations of local government. The academies can foster greater community involvement, encourage participation on local boards and commissions, and strengthen relationships and understandings between residents and local government. Barnstable's Inside Town of Barnstable Government program has held 29 sessions, commencing in 2003 and graduating over 1,000 participants. I'm very, very proud to say that I was one of the directors who presented in 2003 and have been involved ever since. It's a great program. Barnstable's one of the Commonwealth's longest standing and most successful Citizens Academy. And I've received numerous inquiries regarding our Inside Town of Barnstable Government Academy, also about our Police Academy and Employees Academy that we offer. And we plan to continue to provide our community with accurate information regarding the programs and services our organization offers to those who live and work and visit Barnstable. The last 22 years, Barnstable staff has successfully engaged our public in their local government. And it was a pleasure to share the details of our effort with the participating people who attended this webinar. We're pleased to announce that Barnstable Government Access Television is now more accessible than ever. Viewers can now watch BGA programming through a dedicated app available on both Apple and Android smartphones, as well as popular streaming platforms including Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire Stick. To find the app, you can search the word Barnstable on your device to download it today. You can continue to find Barnstable Government Access on Xfinity Channel 8 and 1070, and in high definition on Channel 1072. With this expansion, you can stream Barnstable Government Access live from anywhere and stay connected with a variety of local programming. Tune in to watch town council meetings, zoning board of appeals sessions, and original shows such as Discover Barnstable, my show Barnstable in Focus, and much more. Over the past few years, Barnstable Government Access has continued to enhance its services, including launching a high-definition Xfinity channel and adding closed captions to all video-on-demand content, live streams, and rebroadcasts, whether you're watching on TV or through the new app. This latest upgrade reflects Barnstable Government Access's ongoing commitment to make local government and community programming more accessible and convenient to our residents. The Barnstable County Administrator has announced that the offices of the U.S. Senators Markey and Warren, in participation with Barnstable County government, will host the second Cape and Islands Dredging Summit on Thursday, May 15, 2025 from 10 a.m. till noon. The in-person is in the Mary Pat Flynn Conference Room at the Barnstable County Complex up in Barnstable Village. I believe there's going to be a link as well, so you can remotely participate. More information to come there. recognizing the recent deep challenges communities have experienced with navigating the dredging permitting process, this working summit will convene Cape leaders and officials with staff from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and state agencies such as the Division of Marine Fisheries, Department of Environmental Protection, and the Massachusetts Coastal Zone Management for a discussion on dredging permits and an update on what has happened over the past year. More information will be provided in the coming weeks. So right now, save May 15th if you're interested. Being a community that has a master plan for dredging and has actively dredged both with the county dredge and other dredges, this is a very complicated permitting process. So if you're unfamiliar, but you're interested, you may want to attend. And if you do this, like the town of Barnstable does, I know we will actively participate. Laurel Shader, senior scientist with Silent Spring Institute, has invited me to be a featured speaker in an upcoming webinar on April 17th from noon to 1. This is part of a new webinar series that STEEP, that's Sources, Transports, Exposures and Effects of PFAS, is launching, called PFAS on Cape Cod, Connecting Communities with Science for Solutions. Their goal is to combine researchers from STEEP's team with community leaders from Cape Cod to talk about how PFAS are affecting communities on the Cape, how STEEP researchers are advancing our knowledge on PFAS, and how scientists and communities can work together for solutions. I've been asked to speak about my perspectives leading a town that has been tackling PFAS in its groundwater and surface water, and how I think that research can work with researchers can work with communities to promote change. On April 17th, the other speaker will be Dr. Heidi Pickard, who recently graduated with her PhD from Harvard University, and Dr. Pickard will be speaking about her studies of PFAS in fish, mainly on the Upper Cape. Please tune in, and I'm pretty sure you can follow up and watch it after the fact as well. In addition to my update, Andy Clyburn, Assistant Town Manager, will provide an update on the Quality of Life Working Group that is focused on enforcement matters across all town departments. Kelly Colby, Department of Public Works Communication Manager, will provide an update on water resources, including the Comprehensive Water Management Plan, Wastewater Management Plan rather. And James Cupford, Director of Planning and Development, will provide an update on our local comprehensive plan and other major efforts. Thank you for listening.
Hello, I'm Assistant Town Manager Andy Clyburn, here to give an update on the internal working group established to look at enforcement efforts across all town departments. Our team listed here each has their own set of responsibilities and associated authorities. It consists of myself, Peter Burke, the Hyannis Fire Chief, Jeannie Chalice, our Police Chief, Brian Florence, Building Commissioner, Lynn Poyant, Director of Communications, David Anthony, Director of Asset Management, Jim Kupfer, Director of Planning and Development, Karen Nober, Town Attorney, Allison Cagliano, Assistant Town Attorney, Derek Lawson, Director of Marine and Environmental Affairs, Alicia Messier, GIS Manager, Aaron Logan, Director of Licensing, and Peter Bertling, Parking Program Manager. Not every department is represented. Others will be added as necessary moving forward. For today's update, I'm going to walk through a timeline with quarterly goals listed below the timeline and associated milestones shown above. First, you'll notice the title, Quality of Life. As we began meeting in January, it quickly became evident to our group that we were working on quality of life issues, so that's the name we landed on. Our goals for the first quarter were to establish a team with regular recurring meetings, identify problem areas, implement immediate solutions where possible, apply structure on how to tackle larger issues, and assign leads to each. Our first milestone was completed in January as we began our regular meetings. Our second milestone was started in February when we released a video explaining how to communicate with the town of Barnstable. Communications was quickly identified as a concern, and this video was the first immediate action we undertook. With complaint-based enforcement, it is imperative residents know where to go. There will be several follow-on actions in this category, including adjustments to the town website to enhance residents' understanding. Our third milestone structured our work into 3 areas: processes, systems, and laws. Processes and systems are the tools town staff use to enforce the laws. The line you've seen drawn between processes and systems and laws is there to highlight the line of authority between town manager and town council. This is clearly oversimplific, as some of what we refer to as laws in this structure are regulation or ordinances, general or zoning. Some of those are under the town manager, and some of them are under higher authorities other than town council. But for illustrative purposes, it gives you an idea of the items our group will take action on in short order, those being systems and processes, and those items that our group will review and make suggestions on, but will require more public process and action by others, whether that be town council, planning board, or others. Our goals for the second quarter include drafting potential regulations, ordinances, or changes to existing laws for consideration to address gaps or shortfalls often blamed on lack of enforcement and public process required for each. Evaluation of current systems, including OpenGov, Granicus, and others. The lack of a forward-facing complaint system is likely the current root cause for much frustration. We have seen tremendously positive response to our efforts with OpenGov in use for permitting, and are very optimistic it will be helpful on the complaint front as well. Lastly, we hope to hold a town council workshop on the use of town property and permitted events held throughout town. There's been a significant increase in the number and size of events in recent years worthy of a town council discussion. Milestones we hope to achieve include categories parking, home occupation, and budget. One of the first issues our team reviewed was the waste to water parking regulations. The team tasked several members to review complaints received and administrative concerns, existing and proposed amendments to existing town manager regulations. As a town manager regulation, these proposed amendments will be submitted to the manager for review and approval. We anticipate a public communications plan established and public comment period put forth to garner input for our residents prior to the manager moving forward with any amendment considered. The team is actively working on several other issues that may result in ordinance amendment, whether general or zoning. These amendments would require extended public outreach and public hearings. As proposed amendments are considered, a public outreach and communication process and plan will go along with it. While we began efforts on these potential changes, we also want to ensure that we're enforcing existing laws and providing proper communications. And in some areas, we may find changes are not necessarily, we simply need stricter enforcement. Home occupation. We've heard concerns about home occupations that disrupt residential neighborhoods. Our first step will be to establish a home occupation licensing program with ID card, annual expiration and renewal, with a suspension and revocation hearing process. And finally, budget. We will bring forward budget requests for systems and equipment as necessary. Our Q3 goals include organizational changes to the Inspectional Services Department to support enforcement. This will include changes to the town code and long overdue fee schedule adjustments and public hearings to support the necessary resources. Our third quarter milestones include the next step on home occupation, with changes to the home occupation ordinance being brought forward and commercial vehicle regulations. The public process for the aforementioned organizational changes to the Inspectional Services Department, potential changes to our noise ordinance, and potentially a new nuisance ordinance, depending on the effectiveness of the other home occupancy efforts. Our fourth quarter goals include our fourth quarter goals and milestones we further developed in the coming months, but include finalizing new regulations and ordinances, public discussion, and prioritization of future tasks, including regulatory agreement enforcement, amongst others. That concludes today's update. Thank you.
Have a question, concern, complaint, comment, or kudos? Don't know where to start or who to contact? Town of Barnstable residents have multiple ways to communicate with the town, including email, phone, and via our app. Email the town main mailbox at email@town.barnstable.ma.us. Emails are directed to the appropriate department in a timely manner, usually within 24 hours of receipt. We also have a citizen resource line that you can access by phone at 508-862-4925. The line is answered during regular work hours with the option to leave a message outside of normal hours, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The rental compliance hotline is answered 24/7. Call 508-504-9779. You can also find this information on the town's website, www.townofbarnstable.us, through the quick links and citizen resources sections. We've even got an app for that. You can report a problem directly on the town's mobile app, the My Barnstable app. Don't have the app? You can download it for free through the App Store or Google Play Store. If you have complaints for inspectional services, which includes the Building Division, the Health Division, and Weights and Measures, please contact Building Division by telephone at 508-862-4038 or email to Building Division mailbox at town.barnstable.ma.us. Health Division by telephone at 508-862-4644 or email to health@town.barnstable.ma.us. Weights and Measures at 508-862-4671 or email to weight_measure at town.barnstable.ma.us. Complaints submitted to these agencies directly will ensure that an inspector is assigned and dispatched. Timing of the response is based on the severity of the situation. Threats to life or property are first priority. Code violations are a second priority, and referrals to other agencies being third. We look forward to hearing from you.
Good afternoon, Kelly Colby from the Department of Public Works, and I will be walking you through this week's Water Resources Management Update. First, we will take a look at our latest status update for sewer connections. As the weather has been warming, we are seeing a steady uptick in new sewer connections for both the Strawberry Hill Road and Route 28 East sewer expansion projects. Strawberry Hill Road is now just shy of 60% complete, with 89 completed connections for that project route. And then Route 28 East, we now have 6 completed connections. As a reminder, those connections became available essentially at the beginning of this new calendar year. So we are seeing great progress being made there with 36 active permits for the Strawberry Hill Road project and another 14 active permits for the Route 28 East project. So we anticipate seeing even more connections over the coming weeks. Shifting over to active sewer expansion projects, we have the Centerville Village Sewer Expansion Project North Phase actively under construction as we speak. We've begun our sewer installation on Chute Flying Hill Road, and as a reminder, this does require Chute Flying Hill Road from Service Road to Great Marsh Road to be closed during active construction hours, which are essentially 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. The crew has installed over 1,000 linear feet of sewer, which is great progress given the depth of the excavation in that particular roadway. We do have that second area of construction anticipated within the area of Mothers Park for the Mothers Park pump station. The contractor had intended to begin construction this construction season, but have since been delayed on the Bierces Way project, which we'll talk about later in this update. So at this juncture, we anticipate full mobilization to the Mothers Park area will hold off until this coming fall construction season, so after Labor Day. Now, in tandem, we are working on the design for the south phase of our Centerville Village sewer expansion. Currently, the consultant is addressing our town comments on the 50% sewer design plan. And alongside the sewer design, we continue to cite potential pump station locations and have discussions and outreach meetings for any necessary easements. We do anticipate at this juncture construction to begin this coming fall. However, that is pending the Park City Wind construction schedule. We have reached out to Park City Wind, Avangrid, for an update on their schedule and are awaiting that information. With that in mind, we are moving forward to prepare for a shovel-ready project. We do anticipate a public hearing during the Capital Improvement Program hearings at Town Council this week for $16 million in requested construction funds for the Centerville Village South Phase. And I do want to note that this project is listed on the current 2025 final Clean Water Intended Use Plan through the State Revolving Fund and has received full financing. As a reminder, this project will bring sewer to the remainder of Old Stage Road, sort of picking up off where the North Phase project ends, from Old Post Road to Main Street, the bulk of Main Street Centerville, and a portion of Craigville Beach Road. We do continue to host regular briefings with the Centerville Civic Association. Most recently, we met with their association this week to provide an update on both the current North Phase construction as well as the South Phase design. And we look forward to keeping the greater community updated as we progress through design of this project. Next, we have the Route 28 West Sewer Expansion Project. We currently anticipate advertising the construction bid for this project as early as May 1st. So just really about 2 weeks from now, with an estimated submission deadline by mid-June. That will allow us to open the bids sometime mid-June and award the construction contract later this summer. We do anticipate that construction of this project will begin this fall. And then as a reminder, this project was the number 3 ranked project on last year's State Revolving Fund Clean Water Intended Use Plan and has received full financing support through SRF. Additional sewer expansion projects in design. We have some momentum on a few of these projects, the first being the Finney's Lane Neighborhoods project. We anticipate construction to commence next fall of 2026, and continue to work through the final design of that project. This week at Town Council, we do have a $45.6 million construction funding request through the Capital Improvement Program. This project as well has received financing support through the state's revolving fund. Additionally, the Long Beach area project, we continue to work through preliminary design, and we actually have some soil borings ongoing, which will be completed in early to mid-May. Those soil borings essentially will analyze the current makeup and composition of the soil to help inform final design and construction specifications. So we continue to make great progress in the design of that project. Additionally, the Long Pond area project, we continue to work on the design there as well, and have a $750,000 final design funding request being brought forth to Town Council as part of the Capital Improvement Program hearings this week. Additional CIP funding requests for the Great Marsh Road and Shoot Flying Hill Road Neighborhoods project. We have a $2.25 million funding request for design and permitting of this project. As a reminder, this is quite a large project where we're intending to sewer the neighborhoods adjacent to Great Marsh Road and Shoot Flying Hill Road, really leveraging the current sewer infrastructure being installed as part of the Centerville Village North Phase along Shoot Flying Hill Road as we speak. That project is in preliminary design, so the funding request would be to bring that to final design and ultimately permitting to prepare for a shovel-ready project as well. And then we continue to make progress on the design for both the Old Yarmouth Road and Old Craigville Road neighborhood projects. Shifting gears slightly to our notice of project change, which we've spoken about in previous updates, specifically for downtown Hyannis and Marks Path. Both of these are in regards to pump station infrastructure that we are looking to develop and ultimately construct. When we last spoke, 268 Stevens Street, no significant update here. We are really just working through the pre-construction and submittal process with CC Construction, who was awarded the construction bid for this project. We do anticipate that the contractor may request a summer work authorization, which would allow them to begin some work on the pump station site. It would be contained on site at 268 Stevens Street with no impact to traffic. Should that request come in and be approved, we will certainly keep our community updated and provide notifications to the various abutters along the area in regards to any activity taking place this summer on site. Additionally, the Marks Path Pump Station project, we continue to work through design. Our most recent milestone would be the soil borings that are occurring this week on the Barnstable Adult Community Center property. Right now, the pump station is proposed for the back end of that property, back behind the parking lot. It is a town-owned parcel, allowing us to do this work and really site that infrastructure pretty seamlessly. We have provided notifications regarding the soil borings to both the Adult Community Center staff as well as the residents of Marks Path, being that that parcel does border and have some frontage there on the Marks Path private roadway. And just as a reminder regarding the need for this project, recent evaluation of the current Marks Path pump station, which is currently located within the Route 28 right-of-way in a portion of sort of the bordering the frontage of 4 Marks Path. That current pump station is at the end of its useful life, and it does not have the capacity to accept additional wastewater flow. Not only will there be just additional wastewater flow from sewering happening in the immediate area, but that pump station will also serve part of the Finney's Lane sewer expansion project as well. So it's certainly a needed infrastructure upgrade, and we are grateful for the support from our community to continue to site that infrastructure and work on the design on the town-owned parcel. We'll also take a look at our sewer station rehabilitation program, and most notably our 720 Main Street pump station replacement project. No significant updates really since our last report. We continue to chip away at final construction here. As previously reported, we finished all in-road sewer construction back in late March. So really the majority of the work has been contained on site, both with some interior construction as well as our utility hookups and software programming. We do anticipate that final paving and restoration will be this coming fall, followed by the decommissioning of the pre-existing pump station across the street at 720 Main Street. This new location is right across the street at 725. And as you can see from our updated aerial here, the contractor is beginning to clean up the site, and we anticipate the landscaping will be part of that final restoration this fall as well. Shifting over to the water pollution control facility, no significant updates with the nitrogen removal and headworks improvements project or our effluent disposal evaluation project. Both really are status quo at this point. We continue to make progress on the design of our nitrogen removal and headworks improvement project, and are anticipating construction beginning this coming fall. As a reminder, our SRF loan application has been submitted for this project, and we have received full financing support through the state revolving fund. The nitrogen removal and headworks improvement project was the #1 ranked project in the Commonwealth for last year's state revolving fund clean water intended use plan. Additionally, we do have the Bierce's Way sewer extension and vacuum sewer removal project in progress. This is in collaboration with the Mass DOT Bierce's Way Shared Use Path project. We took advantage of Mass DOT being within the roadway to allow us to upgrade this sewer infrastructure. Per our last report, we had a horizontal directional drilling operation to help install sewer within the Bierce's Way and Enterprise Road intersection. That work continues, but we are seeing really that home stretch now at this point. We have a little bit of additional gravity sewer to install, and then we will move into a testing phase. From there, we will allow the road to settle as we have with previous sewer projects, and then intend to have the contractor come back in the early fall to complete final restoration. And then shifting over to the Hyannis Water System, our Straightway and Hyannis Port Water Treatment Facilities Improvements Project is moving along nicely. The construction contract has officially been bid, or I should say has officially been advertised. So this project essentially is with procurement at the moment. Submissions for the construction contract are due at the middle of May, so about a month from now, May 16th. At that point, we will open bids, we will review all of the applications or proposals, and work through the process to officially award the construction contract. We do anticipate that contract being awarded in early summer with construction beginning in the fall. and it's approximately a 2-year duration for construction. If you would like a refresher on this project, we do have a project page available on the Town of Barnstable website on the DPW page under water supply. You can take a look at current plans as well as recorded outreach meetings and a variety of different public communications assets. And then last but not least, we have a number of water quality initiatives, especially as the weather continues to warm up and we really move into the spring season. The first being our culvert asset management program. Over the coming weeks, you will see folks out and about assessing our culverts, both DPW personnel and consultants. Essentially what will happen is there will be an inventory taken of all of the town's culvert, and we will build out a culvert network database where we can provide information on essentially the health and the status of our culverts to help formulate any needs moving forward. Additionally, our PALS, Cape Cod Pond and Lake Stewardship Program, our water quality monitoring has begun for these ponds and lakes. Sampling is in progress, and we look forward to collaborating with a variety of folks, including the Barnstable Clean Water Coalition and citizen volunteers, to provide that data to our community. And then we are in the coordination process for our 2025 embayment monitoring. Sampling will commence in July and will include samples being taken at Barnstable Harbor, Lewis Bay, Centerville River, Halls Creek, and the Three Bays. We are still welcoming estuary sampler volunteers, and if you are interested, you can contact Brooke Withers at the email address provided in this presentation. That concludes our Water Resources Management update. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. It's Jim Cufford, Director of Planning and Development, here to provide a number of updates on a busy April here in Planning and Development. The town's Housing Choice Designation is due for renewal on Friday, April 18th, 2025. Started by the Baker administration in 2018, the Housing Choice Designation is a grant opportunity provided by the state to support infrastructure projects impacted by new housing. There are currently 98 communities that have achieved this designation. Communities are required to renew their Housing Choice Designation every 5 years. In order to qualify for renewal, a municipality needs to have been previously designated, produce a certain rate or amount of new housing units over the last 5 years, and has met best practices related to housing production as outlined by the state. The town of Barnstable meets and exceeds the standards required by the state for this designation. The Housing Choice Designation provides exclusive admission to the Housing Choice Community Grant Program and priority access to various participating Housing Choice programs, including MassWorks, Complete Streets, MassDOT capital projects, and land and park grants. Housing Choice communities are also eligible to receive 0.5% discount on interest rates for state revolving fund loans, which Barnstable takes advantage of now. Over the past 5 years, through the town's designation as a Housing Choice community, and in collaboration with community partners, the town has received over $1 million in direct grant funding through the Housing Choice Community Grant Program in support of infrastructure improvement projects such as Crocker Street Water Line, Pleasant Street Sewer Line, and the 725 Main Street Sewer Pump Station, in addition to being provided preferred status on many other grants as I mentioned above. To take advantage of this opportunity, the town manager shall file the renewal application by the deadline on Friday, April 18th, 2025. For the rest of the updates, I will be providing just a reminder on a number of planning initiatives that are being undertaken throughout the month of April and into early May. The town of Barnstable is currently working to update the town's local comprehensive plan, which is a long-term vision and growth policy that will guide Barnstable's future over the next 10 years. A full draft of the local comprehensive plan is now available for review and comment. The draft plan is accessible from the project's website, barnstablelcp.com, via the document library page. Hard copies of the draft plan are available in each of the town's libraries and at the Barnstable Adult Community Center. The public comment period is open through Sunday, May 11th. Comments can be submitted online via the project website or dropped off or mailed to the Planning and Development office here at Town Hall. The comments will be distributed to the local comprehensive planning committee for review and consideration. Town staff, together with members of the committee, invite the public to attend one of the upcoming community meetings. Each meeting will include an overview of the draft local comprehensive plan, followed by an open house with light refreshments will be provided. The first is on this Tuesday, April 15th at 6 p.m. at the West Barnstable Community Center. That'll be followed by Wednesday, April 30th at 6 p.m. at Liberty Hall, Monday, May 5th at 6 p.m. at the Barnstable Library. And at that meeting, virtual participation will be provided, and a link will be provided for anyone interested in attending virtually. The final townwide community meeting will be held at the Barnstable High School within the Performing Arts Center. Live Portuguese and Spanish interpretation will be available. Additionally, in partnership with Barnstable Rec, child care services will be provided for children ages kindergarten through 5th grade and will include pizza and arts and crafts activities. Please email Kate Maldonado at caitlin.maldonado@town.barnstable.ma.us to register for childcare. That meeting again will be on May 8th at 6 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center at the high school. Another initiative that is ongoing is the housing production plan. The town of Barnstable is in the process of updating the housing production plan. The housing production plan establishes a strategic plan for the production of affordable and mixed income housing in community that is based on comprehensive needs assessment. A draft housing production plan has been published and can be accessed from the town's website via the Planning and Development Department webpage under our current projects. The town recently hosted 2 public meetings to solicit feedback on this plan. Public feedback is encouraged by submitting comments through the town's housing production plan webpage or by emailing Jim Kupfer at james.kupfer@town.barnstable.ma.us before Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Additionally, another initiative the planning department is undertaking is digital equity. The Cape Cod Commission, in partnership with the town of Barnstable, has published the Barnstable Municipal Digital Equity Plan for public review. The town of Barnstable's Municipal Digital Equity Plan assesses the digital divide in Barnstable and identifies opportunities to advance digital equity. The plan considers topics such as the availability and affordability of internet service, device access, online safety, and digital skills required for meaningful digital engagement. A copy of the draft plan, as well as opportunity to submit public comments by Wednesday, April 30th, are available at the link included in the town manager's full report, ccccom.link/Barnstable-DE. Lastly, the Planning and Development staff are working through the Community Development Block Grant 5-year update. The town of Barnstable's draft 5-year consolidated plan for the Community Development Block Grant Program is available for review on the town's website, townofbarnstable.us/CDBG. The plan can be accessed from the town's website via the Planning and Development Department webpage under Programs. The plan will serve as the planning and strategic documents for the town's CDBG program, which supports projects that provide housing, economic opportunities, and suitable living environment for low and moderate income persons. The range of eligible activities may include affordable housing, economic development, public facilities improvements, and public services. Comments will be accepted through May 5th. Thank you.